all hot paper craft. This is the finished model of the Mini Cooper. Hello, let's look at how to make the simple model of the Mini Cooper. So you have the three views, right? And you will start with a cube. You put your cursor in the middle, somewhere around here. Then you add cube. And yeah, this cube is quite huge. Then you need to move the top left corner of the cube to align it with the bottom of the windscreen, which is here, right? Okay, so like this. Then you put your cursor in this corner and you scale up. Well, you need to switch to cursor alignment. Then you pull this up to have the lower edge here, okay? And here it's rising up a little bit. You can ignore that for now. Okay, here's rising up a little bit. You can ignore that for now. You make the length to the corner here, to this corner about. Align it about with this corner. Go to the top view. Now you move up along the green axis to align here on this corner. Put the cursor here, yeah, and scale it to the correct width of the body. Okay, so now you have the main part. So this one is an object mode. Now you can switch to edit mode. In edit mode, of course, you can select vertices, edges, or surfaces. And the vertices, you don't need to use them. This is really for more advanced stuff. We're not going to need them, and you will easily mess up if you start using them. So just use the edges and the surfaces. So the surfaces here, yeah. So you select this surface. And now you can pull this one out. Okay? So you can pull this, and for that you use the extrude tool. And the extrude tool here has this plus. If you put on plus, you will go out straight. Don't go backwards, that's not good. Don't click on the side, because then something like this will happen. That's not what you want. If you pull out, just let go. Don't accidentally push something back or something like that. That will create problems. If you don't get to the right position, you can switch to the move tool and then adjust the position. Okay, so for the Mini, right? So you should go first to this corner, which is also this corner. Okay, so you select the surface, and then you can extrude out to this corner. Okay, then you go to the top view, and now you need to adjust this angle a little bit. Or this one is pretty much straight actually. So actually, only thing that you need to adjust now is this upper edge. So you select this upper edge, and you switch to move tool, and you move this upper edge down a little bit. Okay, so then the next thing is, if you like, you can also scale this inward a little bit. I will show you how in the next step how this goes. So here you can have the surface again, and now you need to move to this corner. So you pull all the way to here, okay? And now you need to adjust the angles here on the outside, and they need to be adjusted the same. So if you use a cursor, this is not going to work. Even if you put the cursor somewhere near the middle, it will still not scale. You know, you can see that it's not symmetrical. So in order to make sure that it's symmetrical, you should set the alignment to the middle. So the bounding box center, so then it's the center of this surface. And then you can scale away, and as you see, the position is not super correct, so I can still adjust it a little bit. And again, the 3D view is, in our case, it doesn't have to be like super accurate. So then I scale this a little bit inward to create this shape. Okay, go to the side view. Now take this angle, take this edge, and move it down a little, right? Move it down to this corner. Actually, it can be, yeah, it can be the case. And then use this one and move it a little bit up. Okay, and then we do the same thing again here for the front part. select the surface, pull it out to here, and then go to the top view, angle inward, a little bit more, maybe like this, yeah, like this. Okay, and now this, from the side view, once again, this edge is moved down. Oh, where is it? So this edge is moved down quite a bit to around here. And then this edge is moved slightly up. And you can try to make sure it's the same angle as here, this lower part. Okay, something like this. Okay, so now you have the front. And something is a little bit strange now, because this part goes up again. Okay, so that's why I will move this a little bit up again to make sure that, you know, it doesn't, like, you know, it's like, you don't want it to be like this. Better to have it like this. So that's why from here I will move this up a little bit to make this round area a little bit better. Later I will show you how you can still make this a little bit more mini-like, yeah? But let's look at the back first. So for the back, we turn off the image in the back. And now we need to, again, extrude out. So we select this main surface, and we extrude out. And we extrude out to here. Extrude out. Then here we can use again the center alignment, make the angle to the middle here. You see, to the middle to here. Look, you can use the X view to get a better reference. And then the top and the bottom also. No, wait. The top and the bottom. The top and the bottom. So this is the top. So the top, we move it down somewhat. Actually, we could keep it here. We just move that one up later. And then we move the bottom up to, yeah, okay. So now might actually be the time to adjust these two. Okay, so go here and move this a little bit up, a little bit back, so it's in this position, right? And then this one, move it, and again, you can switch for X-ray to better view. Let this come up and go back a little bit. Okay, so now we have the back side. Okay, so the next thing now we have to do is we have to learn the knife tool. The knife tool is very useful because it can create new surfaces. So I click here, enter, create a new surface. Okay, so if I use the knife tool, I can click, then click to make a corner, click again, make corners, click again, and if I hit enter, then that will be it, and new surfaces are created. Then I could do something with them, yeah, like this crazy stuff. Or if I don't need them, I can either go backwards, or I can here go to dissolve edges. Dissolve edges will dissolve the edge but keep the surface. If you use delete edges, then the surface will be gone. Okay, so don't do that. So dissolve edges. Okay, so in order to go across here properly, yeah, I need to be at this position, but I can adjust that later. Okay, so to go across here, I will click, then move. Oh, then I can move like this. Okay, but I want it to be straight, in a straight angle. So in order for this, I need to hold the key to go only along that axis. So now I hold Y key, and as you can see, I can only move along this axis. I move over to the complete opposite side, click, and hit enter. Then I do the same thing a second time. Click over, enter. And the third time, move over, enter. Okay, so now I have these three, and now I want to adjust them to the right position. So I go to select edge. Now I need to go out of the knife mode. So then I can click here, but I want to have all three of them. right? So either can select all three of them with Shift, or I can also hold Option or Alt, depending on if you have Mac. On Mac, it's Option. On PC, it's Alt. And then you click on this edge and it will click the whole one, okay? So now I can adjust the position of this up to align with here. The lower one I don't need to adjust. Here again, select all of them and go down to align here. And then these three, I go up to align here. Okay, so now I should have something like this. And now there are two things I can do. And you can choose which do you prefer. So one would be I select these three surfaces and then pull them out. So it's like this. Or I can select only this surface and pull that one out. It's not like which one is correct. It's just you just have these two options, whichever you prefer. Okay, and so this is the back of the Mini. And I will save. So then next thing I will have to do the cabin. So I will select this surface and I have two options. One is I use extrude. I extrude out and then I go to the top view and then I use the scale tool. Scale to the middle, scale up to here, scale up to here, yeah. And then I still need to adjust the front edge with move tool to here. And so I basically have my cabin. I still need to move this up a little bit. Okay, and maybe this can also come to the front a little bit more. So this is one option. The other option is to use the Insert Faces tool. So again, I select the surface. I select the Insert Faces tool. I go to the top view and to X-ray. So now I can pull on the circle and it will create the inner inset part. And I will move this rectangle to align with the rectangle here I want to have on the top. Then I can move it somewhat back, yeah, and adjust the front edge here. So if I move over, then I get something like this. Then I can select this surface and move it up to the right height. And then I can still adjust the two edges here, adjust this edge to come more up and adjust this edge to come more to the front. Okay, so now I have the basic part of the Mini done, but now maybe I want it to be a little bit more mini-like, okay? So because the Mini actually has this part here, which is goes a little bit down. So if I want it to be more mini-like, what I will do is I will go, and again, so this is optional, okay? You can just go ahead with the main body like this, okay? So what I'm going to show now is optional. You can do it or you cannot do it. It's up to you. So now I will switch to the top view and to X-ray. So now here I have these two lines, right? So now I can use the knife and I will cut these lines. Cut, 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 enter. And now, let me see, I have to figure out how to do it the right way. So now, if you move this, it will not work. Okay, so you need to cut more lines. So you need to cut another line from here to here, enter, and cut another line from here to here, and enter, and make sure they're about the same, okay? So now you have this, switch this, and then you can select these edges and move them down. Okay, so now this is more mini-like. Maybe this moves down a little bit less, and this moves down a little bit more. Okay, so now this is more mini-like. And again, this is going to cause some tiny problems later when you export, but they are not, they're very easy to overcome. So now I have my nice mini body. And now I want to have wheels and the holes for the wheels. Okay, good idea to save at this point. Hide the body and bring back the backside image. Okay, now we need 2 cylinders. 1 cylinder each for the wheel and 1 cylinder each for the fenders, which is the hole which wheel goes in. So we start by adding a cylinder. And when we add the cylinder, you click here on the cylinder, right? And then when the cylinder appears, you do nothing. You can zoom in and out. You can change the view, but that's all. Now you can see that there are many surfaces. There are not so many surfaces here, right? You can see the edges. Doesn't look very good. So the first thing you do before you do anything, before you move or touch or whatever, you go here to add cylinder, and here you have the number of vertices. And by adjusting the number of vertices, you can make more or less, right? You can also do 10, yeah? Well, 40, oh no, it's going to crash. If you have 10, yeah, then it's like this. So you should have something between 80 and 90 to make it more round. Okay, then you can close this. Then you rotate around the x-axis, and you have this. Then you go to the side view, yeah? You move over here, then you move the top of this cylinder, align it with the top of the wheel on the side view. You position the cursor here in the top, and then you scale it. Of course, you need to scale by the cursor, right? Scale it down, and make sure that it has the size of the wheel. Switch to X-ray if necessary. Yeah, don't scale the image. Okay, here's the wheel, right? Okay, so now the wheel, and now switch to the front view and move the wheel over here. Position this in the left side, and then scale by cursor. Scale the wheel to the correct width. Okay, so now we need to create the fender, and for that we duplicate the wheel. And when we duplicate, if you duplicate, so right mouse click, and then duplicate objects, and then if you move, then you lost. Okay, then you can click and you can delete the object, or you can go backward, or you can hit escape. You click on duplicate objects, you just click on duplicate objects, then you don't move. You just click one more time. Okay? So now it's in the same position. You don't see it because the 2 objects are exactly the same in the same position, but it's still selected. Okay, so now you can scale it wider, and you can still see the other wheel inside here, you see? Okay, then you go to the side view, and then you go to the center alignment, and you will scale the size to the outer one. Okay? So you have that. Then you bring the body back. Actually, no, not yet. Okay, so then you go here and you duplicate this object once again. And then you can move this duplicated one to the back and get it in the right position here as well. Okay, then you have 2 of them. Duplicate them and move them over to the opposite side. Align here, align with the inner edge of the wheel. Here, yeah, align with the inner edge of the wheel. Okay, then you need to make sure that you turn on your body. Then you need to make sure that your body is aligned so that these 2 are aligned the same. So make sure the body is aligned with the front view. It's pretty much aligned, okay? It's a little bit smaller, doesn't matter. Okay, then I need to make sure that these 2 are the same distance inside, okay? So they look pretty good, okay? But for example, it could also be something like this. Yeah, that would not be correct. So make sure they're aligned, they're as deep in on both sides. Okay. And now you should save. And also you should save as. So you will save a new version of it. Why? Because next you're going to use the bool tool. And so I save this as Mini Cooper 2, save as. So why should you do that? Because next you are going to use the bool tool. And the bool tool, if something goes wrong, then you may not be able to fix this body again, or maybe very troublesome to fix this body again. That's why it's better to keep this body as it is, to save a copy of the earlier version of this document to keep the body, or you don't want to have to start over. Okay, so saved as, save under a new name. Now we can use the bool tool, which we installed at the beginning of the class. We can use that to cut these holes out of the main body. Let's check just in case once again from the front. So this distance seems to be the same. Check from the bottom. This distance seems to be pretty much the same. Okay, so now we can start using the bool tool. And it's important for the bool tool to remember the object you choose first, if you have the bool tool value cut out, the object you choose first is the one who will be deleted. The object which you will choose second is the one who will remain. So if you choose the body first and then the wheel, and then you use the Boolean tool and the difference, then your body disappears because the body will be cut out of this cylinder instead of vice versa. So select cylinder first, select body, object, Boolean, and difference. Okay, now you see this wheel is in a hole. You do the same thing for the other wheels. Select both, Boolean, cut out, select, object, Boolean, cut out, select, object, Boolean, cut out. Okay, and here something went wrong. Okay, so this is why we saved that, okay? So we don't want this, okay? So obviously I did not put those in the correct position. So let me check once again with the side view. See through. Oh, okay. Okay, so it's obviously it's not good in the side view, okay? So my mistake, I'm sorry. So better to move these two a little bit to the front. Actually, if you have it, what we just saw, if you have that, it doesn't matter, but it will make it more difficult to build the model later. So now move them a little bit back so that this corner will still be out here. Yeah? Okay? Maybe still a little bit more back to the front. Okay, so now let's do it again. So select this. Let me check the position from the bottom again, just in case. Okay, it's fine. So select these two, object, Boolean, difference, object, body, Boolean, difference. So now we have all the 4 holes in the body. And now what we need to do, we need to duplicate the wheel. Go to the bottom view, select this wheel, duplicate, and move over to the other side. Here we can switch to the side view and then the wireframe view to see that the wheel is aligned properly. Yeah. Switch back to regular view, go to bottom view, and duplicate the 2 wheels. Move them over to the other side and in position. So now we have the Mini with wheels. And the only thing we are still missing is the rear view mirror, the rear view mirrors, and so they are here, right? And for that it's better to hide the body once again. Go to the top view and add cube, and now we move this cube, the bottom right corner, align it with the bottom right corner of the rear view mirror, and put the cursor in that corner. And scale aligned by cursor, scale down, yeah, get to this width, make it a little bit longer. Switch to the side view, move it down, okay, and then this view mirror, this mirror, maybe the height can be a little bit more again. So yeah, this looks good. Okay, so this rear view mirror has it's like angled like this. Okay, so what we do, we go to edit mode. We go to edit mode, then we select this one, this side, go to X-ray, use the move tool and move this, something went wrong, move this down to here, and then move this up to here, and then maybe this surface can still move. Wait, switch off X-ray, select this surface, yeah, move this back to here, and now finally we select this edge, switch to the top view, and move this in to create this angle here. Yeah, and the alignment again of the 3 views is not 100% perfect, but it doesn't matter. We can turn on the body again. Okay, so now we have the rear view mirror here. Maybe the rear view mirror should go a little bit more to the front. Okay, maybe around here. Okay, then we switch to the top view, and now we need to duplicate this rear view mirror. We select it, duplicate it. Yeah, keep it in the same position, click. And now, let me see where the cursor is. Okay, so the cursor is down here. So now we can click here and mirror along the y-axis. See, now it has been mirrored. And now we can move this over to the opposite side. Okay, and then we need to make sure that this is the same size on both sides. You can check from the front. Looks okay. Maybe they are both a little bit big. Maybe I'm going to make them both a little bit smaller. This is after all mini we are talking about. So make them both a little bit smaller. Make sure that, see, like, you wouldn't want to have something like this, right? One side is bigger. Okay, so pretty much the same. Check from the top just in case. Looks good. And then we select this. We select the 2 mirrors. We select the main body. And we use the bool tool one final time. Bool tool. And this time we use union to make them all one. Okay? And then the mini is basically finished. And we can, we can save this, of course. And then the next step would be to define the different parts and to paint and to unfold. But that, there will be another video on how to do that. So thank you for watching.